Hi, and welcome back. It's Thursday, of course. It's publication day for the Sagersville Independent. Had another really good newspaper this week. Hope you got a copy. A lot of really neat things to see from the first day of school, from Community Day. Our historical page was another great look, sponsored by local attorney Grover on it. A lot of neat things and a lot of information you're not even going to find here on Your News Today in today's paper. So be sure and get one if you can, or not, as soon as you can. If. What's that if about? It's the 22nd day of August. It's been mostly cloudy showers and some thunderstorms are working their way rather slowly into the viewing area. I'll give you an outline, a timetable, and all I can weather-wise in just a few moments. The weekend is looking better by the minute. The most recent update has us sitting pretty much for your entire weekend. The very latter half of Sunday, a tiny bit sketchy, not so bad. Tomorrow night we're going to be cutting it close, I think, for the cutoff from showers to not showers in regards to Friday night football. A lot to talk about weather-wise. We'll take just a few moments to do so in just a few moments. Of course, it's been meeting week here at Your News Today this week, covering local governmental meetings, the City Council, Fiscal Court. Tonight it's the Board of Education, which met this week as well, and as other local governing bodies have done, and as we have covered, they too tasked with setting the annual tax rate for McGoffin County for motorcraft and real estate and property. That will also include a special presentation that took place before the Board of Education meeting as well when we get to that coverage. I was to have someone from the state with us tonight in regards to having someone personally talk to us about what has been a puzzle for a lot of us, myself included, and I learned today that even those that I spoke to off camera associated with the state earlier today have never seen that circular portion underneath the red light or red lights here in McGoffin County. So it is new to maybe everyone. I'll tell you what its intended purpose is, and I'll give you a little aerial view in just a few moments and explain. Might not be what you're thinking. I don't know. I've heard a lot of assumptions as to what it was. Few things in the political world as they relate to Kentucky worth mentioning tonight. Of course, President Trump was in Kentucky yesterday. He was speaking before about 2,500 veterans at the AMVETS AMVETS National Convention. This was in Louisville. He spoke for about 45 minutes or so. The highlight of his appearance and speech can possibly or more than likely be summed up as the end of his speech when, before leaving, he said that the federal government would be forgiving student debt for some of the most disabled veterans. About 25,000 disabled veterans with an average student debt of about $25,000 to $30,000 are going to see that completely forgiven. That's correct. Of course, the president was also there to stump for Republican Governor Matt Bevin, as he, of course, is running for re-election as well. So President Trump rather was in Louisville yesterday. Presidential candidate on the Democratic ballot, Bernie Sanders, is actually going to be in Louisville this coming weekend. He's going to be at the People versus Corporate Power Rally. That's 4 o'clock in Louisville. And you do not have to RSVP if you want to go. It's a free event. They would like to hear from you if you plan on going, but you don't have to RSVP. He plans on, says his campaign managers, talking about minimum wage being set to $15 an hour, stopping gun violence, and securing our elections, and why Mitch McConnell is not doing enough to see that all that happens. And as far as another race, he has not confirmed, nor will he confirm one way or the other until after the elections. But Rocky Atkins says that he is still considering or exploring a United States Senate run against Mitch McConnell. He says he will, of course, after just being defeated by Andy Beshear in the primary for Kentucky governor, he will make a decision as to whether or not he will be in the Senate race after this election process is over in November. Those remarks came at the Kentucky State Fair earlier today, I believe it was. Local headlines. We'll start with an explanation as to what that circular portion of the Mountain Parkway is, the project on Restaurant Row, and your Board of Education coverage next. Stay tuned. Getting the best deal on the best tires with the best service has never been easier. Just log on to ConleyTire.net, check out the latest rebates, sales, and promotions, pick out the tires you want, and email, call, or come by. For huge savings from the family who's been proudly serving the area for over 32 years. Conley Tire in Staffordsville, 297-2424.
Appalachian Wireless has a question for you. Would you rather pay $650 or $66 for a smartphone? If you think this answer is simple, then the Appalachian Advantage plan is for you. Pay less upfront for today's hottest smartphones, and then pay just a few dollars more every month on the monthly bill. Many smartphones are $5 a month or less after you factor in the $20 discount from the Advantage plan, compared to the contract offering. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless. Payment agreement required. See store for details.
SSI and disability cases are harder to win these days. You need all the help you can get. If the government has turned you down, I will not. Many factors are considered when a claim is being processed, like your age, education, physical, and mental disabling conditions. When it comes time to winning your disability case, you should not face a federal judge alone. You need an attorney who is experienced, determined, hardworking, knowledgeable, and dedicated to helping you win benefits that you deserve. If you need help with your SSI or disability case, call me, Donald Wayne McFarland, and let me go to work for you.
Your new IGA has fresh brewed coffees and delicious donuts made 7 days a week. Daily made breads piled high with any meat or cheese you can think of. And come and taste the salads, broccoli and cauliflower, cornbread, and their gourmet chicken salad made fresh right here. They've got fruit and vegetable and meat trays made with a little love, and celebrate anything with perfectly professionally made cakes. All fresh and ready for your next meal, party, or event at your Sagersville IGA, where it's a new day, place, and way to shop. First things first, what is it? I had no idea. I was just so pleased to know that when I asked, I wasn't the only one who didn't know. And in fact, officials that I spoke with off camera today related to the Restaurant Road project were not familiar with this type of roadway configuration anywhere else in eastern Kentucky or elsewhere. So it seems to be relatively new, at least for our part of the world. Certainly in Kentucky, I can't recall anything like this curvature in Lexington or elsewhere. So what is it? There's been a lot of folks asking. I was one of them, and I had to guess, would have been wrong. But it does serve a very important purpose for the very largest of vehicles traveling the Mountain Parkway. Well, we're calling it a teardrop, which is what we think so far is the official name. And basically, it is a place for trucks just like that large 18-wheeler coming through the intersection right there to make a U-turn. So far, I don't know of this, and neither did some of the officials with the state that I spoke with earlier today off camera, know of anything like this anywhere else. I can't recall seeing one in any larger cities, Lexington or elsewhere. But essentially, that large area right there, that teardrop, will be, well, there actually will be there, one, at this red light at the end of Parkway Drive, and also at red light number 3 in front of the BP. And at those two locations, large trucks or large payloads, vehicles hauling something long or wide of that nature, can essentially make a U-turn and go back in the opposite direction should they need to. Of course, regular motor vehicles can just turn at the light in the direction they need to go and turn around and go the opposite way if that's what their direction of travel is taking them. But for 18-wheelers and large loads, that essentially gives them a double turn arrow to turn left or make a U-turn at those lights, essentially allowing them once again to simply make a U-turn and head in the other direction. I'm really glad to know that I wasn't the only one who didn't know that. I've heard a lot of folks think it was everything from a park and ride to something totally different. Now you know. Now, while we're on the Restaurant Row project, here's a little blacktopping update. As you saw, they were applying a final coat of blacktop in a lot of areas. And if you look over to the left of your screen in what will be the eastbound lanes, they are just about to finish those lanes. And as you can see, there's already a curb on both sides of the road over there finished. And as soon as that is finished, they will take the 2 lanes that we're traveling on now and move them over to that side, and then they'll finish the curb that's unfinished right here, as you see, to the left of this lane of travel, if you will, or the eastbound lane of travel there, just to the other side of that vehicle. Moving our current 2 lanes of travel over to the left, or the eastbound lanes in the future, and then they will finish what will be the westbound lanes with a new curb and the median, and then a final coat of blacktop, still all set to be completed by the end of this fall. Now, here's something else you can also see starting to take shape on the road that goes in front of the high school. That road, as I told you, I can recall maybe early on in the project, will allow traffic to merge onto 114 and continue on in the direction of Paintsville, Prestonsburg, or Burning Fork, for example. But as you can see, as I get just a bit closer, you can see after pulling out from the high school, for example, taking a right on that road, and you'll see right there is where you'll be able to merge onto the new eastbound lanes. I had hoped to get a few words with Marshall Carrier, the project manager, earlier today, as I said, and he was just unable to be with us. So I wanted to go ahead and run the report. As I said last night, we would be talking about what indeed that was. We'll be talking to him sometime, hopefully, before the fall in regards to Restaurant Row being completed and the next phases of the Mountain Parkway expansion project. A lot of Board of Education coverage right now. Just a quick update or two and a birthday on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. Yeah, brief calendar. A birthday wish to kick off the community calendar tonight, as we almost have every night birthday wishes. We love to share them. This one tonight goes out to Jackie Minix with a whole lot of love from a whole lot of family and friends. Happy birthday to you, Jackie Minix. A lot of birthdays make the show because Jackie Minix calls a lot of those in. We appreciate her for that. The McGoffin County Retired Teachers Meeting is set for this Friday. That is tomorrow. Thank goodness, at 11:30 at Pizza and More. All McGoffin County retired teachers are urged to attend. All farmers are urged to attend the big event coming up on September the 17th at the Avavian and Rick Deaton Farm on Bear Branch. That's going to be Farm Field Day in McGoffin County, brought to you by the Extension Service as well. Beef quality and care assurance training, forage testing, and cattle nutrition. A lot of other information, and of course, hay rides as well. They'll register at 5, eat at 5:30. The program will start at 6, and attendance in that event satisfies the GAP Achievement Series. And the next Teleworks hiring event, job fair, if you will, next Monday, this coming Monday, at the McGoffin County Health Department, 10 till 3, jobs at home, starting at $12 to $13 an hour. Register today by calling 438-1533. And you can have your calendar announcement and all your birthday and anniversary wishes right here on our calendar any weeknight you so choose. Just tell me so I can tell everyone about them. Here's a little of what's new at Parkway Gun and Pawn. A big selection of hunting, bowie knives, some to use, some to collect, or both, starting as low as $14.99 a piece. Hey gamers, while they last, they just got in 2 PS4 Pro editions in perfect condition. And as new, still in the packaging, big flat screens at big discounts. A new selection of kitchen gear and appliances, and even a new in-the-box 30-gallon electric hot water heater. You never know what you're going to save on, but you're always going to save at Parkway Gun and Pawn. Big Sandy Healthcare and Hope Family Medical Center are proud to announce the newest addition to their staff and team of over 200 dedicated employees and medical professionals. Podiatrist Dr. Cheryl Stalder Cheney has joined Big Sandy Healthcare at the Hope Family Podiatry Center in Sagersville on Beriah Boulevard, just a couple of doors up from the least famous recipe. For anything minor or serious foot or ankle related, Dr. Stalder Cheney is now accepting new patients at Hope Family Podiatry Center in Sagersville. At Sagersville National Bank, they know your house is much more than your home. It's an investment, and for many of us, the biggest we'll ever make. And whether it's for needed repairs and maintenance, or a new addition or renovation to give you some more room and more equity, let Sagersville National Bank deal with all the financial work and worry. Real and real competitive, hometown, homegrown, home improvement loans at Sagersville National. Never seen what's inside the seasonal shop? You've never seen anything like it. And if you have seen what's inside the seasonal shop, you've never seen it like this. From all the styles of pillows, dishware, bedding, and wall hangings, it's full of beautiful home decor. And there are frames for anyone and any occasion. There are neat and unique ways to design and do it yourself. There are flowers too perfect to be real. And from expecting moms to newborns, toddlers, teens, and adults, the fashions and designs and jewelry are simply endless and always changing at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop. From brakes, exhaust, suspension, fluid changes, to expert collision and auto body, to turning your 4x4 or diesel from mild to wild, get real auto maintenance, paint, and repair at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville. 349-8785. Just like that, we've jumped into the spring allergy season with all the buds and blooms, tree and grass pollen, mold, and all the nasal congestion, sneezing, itchy nose and eyes and throat that they cause. Don't get caught off guard. Protect yourself daily with a quick trip to Parkway Pharmacy for over-the-counter and prescription relief. And you can always log into parkwaypharmacy.com to have your prescriptions ready when you get there at Parkway Pharmacy in Sagersville. This week's regular meeting of the Board of Education in Magoffin County was the first since school bells started ringing this year. They did have, of course, a few procedural issues to discuss, as they customarily do. There was also, however, a very special presentation at the beginning of the meeting. Later on in the meeting, of course, the Board of Education set tax rates for Magoffin County for the current or just begun fiscal year. But first, the Kentucky Valley Education Cooperative, as was represented by Mr. Jeff Hawkins, was there to make a special presentation. Actually, Magoffin County was one of the 8 original counties that went along or joined KVEC when they first formed. KVEC is now comprised of 22 school districts representing some 50,000 students and 3,000 educators. KVEC's vision is to reframe the education and community narrative in Appalachian Kentucky. Magoffin County has a positive history with KVEC, and Superintendent Scott Helton also has a long history with KVEC as well, most recently serving as their chairman.
This year, KVEC is 50 years old. Magoffin County is one of the original 8 members that launched KVEC 50 years ago and has been a member during that period of time. On a personal note, Scott was there the day that I was hired as director of KVEC, which has been almost 20 years ago. So Scott and I go way back, and we have always had a particular affinity for folks in Magoffin County. It's one of the better counties that we're pleased to be able to work in, and I can't say enough about your leadership as a board. But this evening, I'm here because you may have known that Scott was our chairman this past year. The year before that, he served as vice chair, and we wanted to recognize him for his leadership for our cooperative. Since I came to work at KVEC, the cooperative has grown from 8 member districts up to 23, and Scott has had a major impact on that, as have other superintendents that preceded Scott, and we really appreciate that. But for his leadership, we are presenting him with the Horizon Leadership Award, and I'll read you what that says. For pioneering efforts as chairman of the Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative Board of Directors, and for leading educational innovation, maintaining a commitment to all learners, and creating a lasting legacy of educational excellence built on an indelible contribution that will continue to transform schools, minds, and hearts across the Commonwealth.
Moving on, since this was the first regular meeting since the beginning of the school year, there were various updates from the financial officer on the Head Start program. They approved bell schedules for each school. There was an update from each elementary school principal to the board and superintendent. Also, being this time of year, they were tasked with setting tax rates on both motor vehicle and watercraft, and real estate and property. After some brief discussion and a motion, the Board of Education voted to leave tax rates on motor vehicles and watercraft at the same rate as it was last year. And then they voted to take the compensating rate, as was set by the state, on real estate and property.
Consider approving real estate and personal property tax rate for the 2019-2020 school year. See attachment.
Make a motion to take the compensating rate.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Jesse Rudd, second by Mr. Jimmy Gullett, to approve the real estate and property tax rate for the 2019-2020 school year, which will be set at the compensating rate, which will keep the funds the same as we currently have. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
That compensating rate is said to be 62 cents per every $100 of valuation. That was an increase of about 1.2 cents from where it stood, I believe, at 60.8 cents prior. It's also important to note that in covering the Board of Education meetings for the last 2 years, the Board of Education chose not only to not take the compensating rate, but they also chose to leave the rates where they were for the past 2 years. This time, though, instead taking the compensating rate, which only adjusted at about 1.2 cents. Superintendent Scott Helton told me today via the telephone that was largely because of some new business on the Parkway and some reassessments which have been done by the newly elected PVA, that giving them just a bit of some breathing room. That 1.2 cents will mean that they will be able to keep about $33,000 of the revenue that they had. Now, before I leave you, let's take a look at your weather forecast. We've been talking about it for days, and really no new surprises, just everyone hoping for a good night for hometown football tomorrow night, and still looking forward to some very cool air and beautiful conditions, at least for a couple of days after this cold front makes its way through. As you can start to notice behind me and on local Doppler radar, some light rain starting to fall over downtown Sagersville and moving into much of the area. Just a light shower, a few good little downpours there underneath the red, but we'll see a little bit of a break at times with more to come. And that more to come is going to carry us through tonight and through your Friday, hopefully getting out of here before tomorrow evening. So keep your eye on the weather. As for the particulars of your Licking Valley RECC outlook, we've got 68 degrees expected for tonight. And it's been a slow roll to get here, not complaining necessarily, but the showers are going to make it, and a few light sprinkles and showers have already started to filter into the viewing area. We've had mostly cloudy skies for quite some time, and a 50% chance of those continued showers and storms during the overnight. No big rainfall amounts unless you get under one of those downpours and thunderstorms. Everyone else maybe a tenth, maybe a quarter of an inch at most. Tomorrow, look at that daytime high has just been adjusted. 77 expected degrees for your Friday. Now we've got showers also with that likelihood tomorrow. We're all going to see a little, some maybe more than a little. The chance for a severe thunderstorm or two is possible for some eastern Kentuckians, so keep your eye on the weather tomorrow. But 77 degrees, mostly cloudy, and a 70% chance, mostly cloudy skies, pretty much start to finish for your Friday. Friday night football, I'm hoping, right now we've got a 30% chance up until about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. And we've got a home game, of course. The Hornets hosting Knott Central. There's a chance you'll just need a jacket instead of an umbrella. You might want to take both. It's going to be a close call. For your weekend, nothing close about it. Saturday, mostly sunny and 80 beautiful degrees, knocking off 10, 15 degrees from the daytime high from where we've been for days. 60 again for Saturday night. Good night to be around a little fire, maybe out in the backyard or what have you. It's a good idea. Mostly sunny, though, and partly cloudy. Sunday, mostly sunny, mostly cloudy that night, but still a beautiful latter half to your weekend. 81 and 64, your daytime high and nighttime low on Sunday. Rolling into next week, we'll still hold on to the low 80s for a while. Mostly cloudy, but still 81 on your Monday. We'll have to factor in a chance of showers and storms to the tune of 30% with another front coming through. Temperature still holding on to 83 Tuesday, Wednesday, 84 Thursday of next week, and partly sunny skies will continue starting on Tuesday for the next several days with a slight chance of showers there on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then by Thursday of next week, fingers crossed for another little dry spell. That's it. That's going to wrap it up for this evening. We'll wrap up this week with your news today tomorrow. Hope to see you then. Thank you for watching, and good night.